Hi, welcome back to Angie's Quilting Studio. I'm Angie, and today, or for this week, I wanted to bring you along with me while I make the last two of my wall hangings. I've gotten the cut and the press done. Now I'm going to do the sew and the quilt. This is a pattern by Lori Holt. I believe it's just called the Cut, Press, Sew, Quilt pattern. So I can't give you the measurements, but I can go ahead and cut these and show you exactly how I piece those together. And cut. First I'll cut from the white background fabric. I have a little piece too. I think I'm gonna use this little pieces for whenever I cut the little squares out, but I use the big piece for my big squares. And you'll notice that I did put labels on all of these to help me keep everything in order and where they need to be and how to cut them. So on the pattern, they're also marked with those letters as well. So it makes them just so much easier to get those sewed together. And here's the finished sew block. Actually, it's not quite finished. What I'm going to do is embroider a needle right down here. So I'll get that finished up, and then I'll go ahead and bind it and, well, put the backing on and bind it, and then I'll get started with the quilt block. Okay, so here is my sewing machine that I sewed up. I don't know if you can see that very well, but I want to make a needle right here with embroider a needle. So what I'm going to use is just this embroidery thread that I got from Walmart. Embroidery floss is from Coats and Clark's at Walmart. And also I got these needles from Walmart. DMC embroidery needles number 5. So I'm going to go ahead and use one of those and do my embroidery. I usually use from my arm, my hand, all the way to my elbow, and I'll just kind of cut there. You don't need much for this project. And I'm going to use 3 strands of embroidery floss. So I've got 3 strands here. I absolutely love using these needle threaders here. because my eyes are getting old. So go ahead and use the needle threader. I put a knot in the back, and I'm just gonna clip off my tail here so it won't be a big tail. And what I'm gonna do is do the back stitch. See if I can do this while filming at the same time. You go in the same hole and go out. Go in the same hole. Can I hold this to the side? Just gonna get that in there. So I typically start it. So I just kind of went down below there, did kind of a back, well, it's called back stitch, so that's why I did that. And went through that hole and came out with the same hole that I had it over here, and that's how I made my little first mark. Now my second mark, I'm going to use that same hole that I came out of and just get a little chunk here. Hold this to the side, use that same hole. Sorry if you're a master embroiderer, I'm not the greatest. I've only did it a few times, but I do enjoy it. I'm gonna have to work with a little bit more embroidery in the future to see if I can, because all I've done is make lines. You know, I've made a few blocks with the sewing machine like this, so this is all I've really done, is just kind of made lines. And I know I'm going off my line a little bit, or a little head, but I want to make my needle just a little bit longer. Okay, so I think that's my needle. So I'm going to go back through that hole. Going to go up. So yeah, that's going to be my needle. And how I'm going to tie it off, hope you can see that. I go under one of the, just the thread, not the whole thing. One of my little loops, go up and go through my hoop. And I do that a couple times through a different hole here. And make that go through, and then I go through my hoops. I'm gonna do it again over here. You be right there. And go through my hoop. Okay, so I think that's tied up pretty good. I'll go ahead and clip it. All right, so there's my needle. And now it's time to make my last wall hanging. It's called Quilt. And like I said, I already have everything all cut up and ready to go. Just need to get to work on it. I don't have the backing and binding on this yet, but I'll probably do both at the same time. And the quilt block is almost done. I have to do the binding, or I have to put the backing on and the binding, but that will be completed. And we'll have all of them done, and I'll show you how I arrange them on my wall. So what I have decided to do to quilt this wall hanging is to look in my Doodle Quilting Designs book, which I'll link in the description below. And I'm going to use tracing paper. I think I got this from Walmart, but I'll link it below as well. And trace this out, a design that I want, which is right here. And then I'm going to use my light board, and I already did this one right here, and I'm just going to mark it using my pen that I got at Walmart. I think I'm going to go ahead and use the Mark Be Gone because I want to it's water soluble, and I'll spritz it down after I'm done, and you won't even be able to see the marks that I made. So I'll just use my light board and put this under it to make sure I get a good even in proportion quilt. For this wall hanging, I had to do a little bit of Franken batting. I had to put 2 pieces of batting together. This is batting that I think it was cheap batting from Walmart, and so I thought it'd be perfect for this wall hanging that I'm going to put up here at my house. So I think for the quilting, what I'll do is just make some straight lines on here, nothing in this area, maybe just a hexagon here and some straight lines on this, and just meander all around and leave this, like I did on the other ones, leave the words as, just kind of outline them to make them pop. I'll probably do the same with the heart, just kind of outline around just to make it pop. I may even do a quilting, like, I think it's called echoing, on the inside of the heart to just get a little bit of dimension. So I'll get started on quilting this, and then I will get my binding ready. And I think I'm just going to use, for the backing, I just used a brown. I want it to kind of match the brown in that lady's dress. And for the binding, I'm going to use this gray type of fabric. It kind of matches my spool up here. So I'll get started on that. So this is a blank wall I'm going to use to for my wall hangings I just completed. It's right across the hall from my design board. I thought this would be a perfect spot to put those up. That way when you walk into my room, you'll see that. They're so lightweight, I'm going to go ahead and put this Gorilla mounting putty, what I'm going to use to attach them to the wall. I have a little bit here. But first I'm going to arrange them the way I want them, and then I'll put them on the wall. Into my wall as you're going into my long arm room, which is that way. So I think it's make a pretty decoration for the wall. And don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button at the end of the video so you can see more of my content, and whenever I put something new out, you'll be able to see that. Thanks for watching.